And there it is. Trump administration submits notice of withdrawal from World Health Organization, which will take effect July 2021. And already everybody's freaking out. But I got to admit, man, I don't know why we would remain in the World Health Organization as of right now, considering the controversy around COVID. And look, I'm going to put it this way. I am not saying this is an expert on what the World Health Organization does. I know they do many things outside of just the COVID stuff. The issue is, as a layman, my friends, the things I've talked about, the concerns we have over COVID, and how we get nothing from this, and we can't even answer what they do. And now that may be coming from a place of ignorance, and I totally accept that. But there needs to be some kind of real, explanation and answer for the constant mistakes made by the World Health Organization, the flip-flopping, the backtracking, and the confusion. Let me put it another way. I'm having a conversation with a friend who's complaining about the broken guidelines based on bad advice from the World Health Organization and how you go over a county line and a state line and everything's different. Nothing makes sense. And no one has any idea what's going on. The flip-flopping has been so bad, even among the CDC, that people have just given up. In which case, I don't know or care about the World Health Organization thing, man. I think for tribal reasons, you're going to see people on the right saying, good, Trump should. On the left, you're going to say, oh no, Trump, what is he doing? For me, and the people I talk to, from a layman perspective is, I don't know, man. As far as I can tell, they messed up pretty bad on COVID. There's some connections with China. I don't know. Well, let's read the story and see what they're on about. Fox News reports the Trump administration submitted a notice of withdrawal from the World Health Organization to the United Nations Secretary General. A senior administration official told Fox News on Tuesday, after President Trump for weeks had blasted the World Health Organization's handling of the coronavirus pandemic and what he called its pro-China bias. The White House also notified congressional lawmakers Tuesday of the official removal effect July 2021. Congress received notification that POTUS officially withdrew the U.S. from the WHO in the midst of a pandemic, Bob Menendez tweeted. Okay, here's what he said. Congress received notification that POTUS officially withdrew the U.S. in the midst of a pandemic. To call Trump's response to COVID chaotic and incoherent doesn't do it justice. This won't protect American lives or interests. It leaves Americans sick and America alone. Listen, the withdrawal takes place 2021. It's a year from now. And if Trump doesn't win in November, well, there you go. You can make your vote. We'll see if Americans are more concerned about being in or leaving. If more people think we should not be in the World Health Organization, considering their response to this, then they'll probably support Trump, and so be it. Although I'm pretty sure if Biden wins, then we'll stay in the World Health Organization. And I got to be honest, man. The more I see what's going on, I'm not confident Trump's winning. I'm going to save this one for the next segment. We're going to talk about it. Let's read and keep this one to the World Health Organization. Trump first announced that the U.S. would withdraw from the organization in late May because they have failed to make the requested and greatly needed reforms. We will be today terminating our relationship with the World Health Organization and redirecting those funds to other worldwide and to serving urgent global public health needs, Trump told reporters at a Rose Garden event. The world is now suffering as a result of the misfeasance of the Chinese government, Trump added. Now, it's true. Early on, China withheld key information from us. This is reported by the Associated Press, and the World Health Organization just parroted this false information. So when they come out and they say Trump is mishandling this, I'm like, you know what, man? You can criticize Trump. Of course, he's the guy flying the plane, okay? But if we're getting bad information over the radio from what's coming across from China and the World Health Organization, blame goes to them too. Why would we just sit back and be like, oh, it's only Trump's fault? As it pertains to the World Health Organization, let me tell you something. If anyone says to you that what Trump is doing is wrong, ask them this. What does the World Health Organization do? And I mean it. What do they do? What have they done? Now, there are some things they do in terms of dealing with, pandemics and diseases and tracking information, helping provide resources around the world. That's fine. On a more general level, ask them. And I assure you, most people won't be able to tell you. More importantly, to the people who are fans and proponents of them, who will criticize me for also not knowing all that much what the World Health Organization is supposed to be doing or what they typically do, I ask you, what is Trump going to do with the funding? Where is he going to put it? I think it's fair to say if you want to criticize the decision to leave the World Health Organization, We need to have a better understanding of where that money would go anyway. Do we know? No. Could it be better? It could. Could it be worse? We really just don't know. So at this point, I think it's silly that this becomes a tribal argument. What we can say right now is, as far as I can tell, with COVID, the World Health Organization really did us dirty, and it resulted in a decent amount of the damage we've experienced because of COVID. But I'll tell you this right now, man. The advice we've gotten, the World Health Organization said early June, asymptomatic transmission was very rare. All of a sudden, people started saying, okay, there we go, right? Then they came back and said, wait, we just don't know. Okay, you're just making everything worse with your flip-flop and your back and forth, and it's poor leadership. Maybe what we're seeing with Donald Trump isn't, in fact, a move to withdraw from the World Health Organization, but what's called a big ask, all right? If you're not familiar with the technique, it basically means that what Trump will do is he'll offer up something extreme, hoping to meet you halfway. It's like a big ask is when you say something like, hey, I'll sell you this bottle of water for $100. And you go, whoa, $100? That's ridiculous. Okay, fine. How about 20? All right, 20. That makes sense. 20 is still ridiculous for a bottle of water, but you think you're getting a great deal. So what Trump may be trying to pull off is, because of the problems of the World Health Organization, because they didn't institute these reforms he wanted, he says, I'm pulling out. Here's the deadline. Then they panic, make a bunch of changes, and Trump brings us back into the World Health Organization. I'll tell you what, I think it's pretty crazy if he actually pulls us out. We'll see. They say, in the course of the same statement, Trump announced a number of measures aimed primarily at China in response to its conduct on a number of fronts, including trade, the coronavirus, and its recent crackdown on Hong Kong. Beijing further increased its grip on Hong Kong last week by passing a security law that critics say undermines the semi-autonomous territory's judicial independence. The law gives police greater power to crack down on any activity there that authorities deem subversive with secessionist aims. Trump added that the State Department's travel advisory for Hong Kong would be revised to reflect the increased danger of surveillance and punishment by the Chinese. Additionally, the U.S. is revoking Hong Kong's preferential treatment as a separate customs and travel territory and taking steps to sanction officials involved in eroding Hong Kong's autonomy. This is the real reason I think we're moving out of the World Health Organization, their close ties to China. We got serious conflict. I mean, look, I just did this segment over on my main channel. Check it out, timcast.net, talking about banning TikTok. These moves are all coming. Man, I really do think we may be facing a hot war with China at some point. Maybe it's time we offer up an emergency exodus for the residents of Hong Kong. These are American-loving people. They wave that flag. They wave that Trump flag. They love Donald Trump. They love the freedom. Some people have joked that maybe we can send Antifa over to China. They can take the place of the Hong Kong residents, Hong Kongians, whatever you want to call them. And we can bring those residents of Hong Kong here. I know it's a silly joke. It's dumb. I think we should just allow refugee status to people of Hong Kong. The UK is doing it. I'm totally down for that. I know a lot of people on the left are going to be like, oh, now you support refugees, blah, blah, blah. I've always supported refugees, man. I know they want to play these games acting like I don't. But I think Hong Kong is more deserving, especially in the face of what China is proposing. But I got to say, man, it's not looking good. It's not. The crackdown on Hong Kong is pretty severe. Now Trump is making this move. The influence and power of the Chinese government is obvious. Listen, man, Thucydides' trap is real, and it seems like we're staring down the barrel of it. China is more powerful than we realize. They have more control and more influence than you realize. So Trump is making these moves that can only end up with some kind of conflict. Trump announced in April the U.S. would freeze funding to the World Health Organization and threatened to make the freeze permanent if they did not enact major substantive reforms. The U.S. has been the top contributor to the agency to the tune of approximately $450 million a year. China, meanwhile, pays approximately $50 million a year, although Beijing had recently announced a $2 billion injection of funds. I'm telling you, man, it's coming. China was sitting back while we paid the bills for things like the World Health Organization, but China got the influence. So Trump is saying, enough, I'm pulling out. So China says, okay, we'll kick in that funds. And the World Health Organization knows who's buttering their bread. Trump pulling out just shows we have presumably two choices. Bend the knee and allow China to just take over and become the dominant superpower, or resist, fight back, make America great, whatever Trump calls it. That may just lead to war. Some people have actually argued the reason why many of these politicians have been so favorable to China is because slowly fading into obscurity and losing our status in the world is preferable to China going to war with us. I think Trump would prefer shoring up America's defenses, bolstering our arms, and standing up against China than to give up our way of life. I don't know. It's very speculative, but I guess time will tell, as usually goes. Maybe Trump will lose. Like I look at, I got to be honest, man. There are a lot of reasons to suggest Trump could win, but a lot more nefarious reasons to suggest Trump will lose. Stick around for the next segment coming up in a few minutes. War games played by the left. Trump refuses. We'll see how things play out. Stick around. I'll see you in the next few minutes. Let's talk about Trump's chances.